That was Man in the Mirror with Michael Jackson. You're listening to Sunshine Meets on Dublin's new Sunshine 106.8. My special guest this evening is Dr. Patrick Treacy. We just listened to a Michael Jackson song, Patrick. You were given a special place in Michael Jackson's heart.
Well, I suppose the fans have been very good to me. I suppose, have stood by Michael's legacy since he died, and been, I suppose, lucky enough to have been given a couple of things. One of them, you're referring to their one website that had 1 million dots for fans worldwide, making up Michael's visage or his face. They were made by David Ilan, who's a very famous pointillism artist in California. And I suppose 30 people were given a place in Michael's heart, and I was one of them, along with Diana Ross and his family, and that was quite an honour.
And give me your little escapade in the Guggenheim Museum.
Well, I suppose it was quite funny. The award was going to be given to me in the area, and myself and David Ilan were standing in front of a particular painting, one of the let's say quite a famous Impressionist painting by a very, very famous Impressionist painter, and I had a camera in like I normally do, and the
are you allowed cameras?
No, you're not. And the security man came over to me and said, "Sorry, you're not allowed to take any pictures here. You got to take it away, you know." And Michelle Easter, who was with us, was taking a picture of myself and David beside this very famous picture of some flowers, and he turned around and said, "Sorry, you cannot do it, you know." And I turned around and I went over and said, "But he's a very famous artist, you know." And I said, "Oh, is he, you know?" Meaning David, you know. And he took allowed us to take one picture then, just, you know. And when I was further down in the museum, near actually the painting of Louis XIV, another famous one, he came over and he tapped me in the arm, you know, and he was a lovely Afro-American gentleman with sort of, you know, his hair thinning, gone white, and he turned around and says, "I know now who he is. I know that famous artist. It's Van Gogh." You're just standing in front of.
Classic, Patrick, classic. Well, we're coming now, Patrick, to your final piece of music. Where are we being led to now?
Well, I suppose that's what we all want to know with our present government. But anyway, if we just go back here to one of the biggest events that happened, I suppose, happened, as you know, on January the 12th, 2010, when the island of Haiti was struck by a 4.7 magnitude earthquake, and it was the first earthquake of that magnitude in Haiti in over 200 years, and certainly, you know, my heart went out, you know, to the people when I seen it originally. It was just horrendous from the point of view that I felt that I had to be there with the people, and I left in the period just after, I suppose, the earthquake had happened, and the stories that the people, you know, told us of having to saw people out of buildings with hacksaws and put them, I suppose, in shopping trolleys and wheelbarrows, and, you know, sort of bring them to different areas, and, you know, the simple mistakes that they made, you know, sort of, you know, cutting arms and legs off without leaving skin flaps. You know, the thing was that, of course, all the edges of the bones got infected, and we had that thing, and at the time I went out there with Peter Hanley, a good friend of mine in Dublin, and Peter Gannon, who had been out in Haiti before. And it was an interesting story where Peter Gannon originally was trying to cross the Dominican Republic border, sort of the Dior sort of Haitian border, and he met up with a bishop, Pierre Dercillian, who ran, you know, some of the camps in Tabara province, and Bishop Dercillian. And if you're listening tonight, Bishop and Gladys, I say hi to you. They've recently been over in Ireland. We did the sort of walk in Mayo together with Declan Tunney, and he was in Times Square 2 or 3 days after the earthquake, with about 120,000 people around him. You'll see his speech, and, you know, Pierre is absolutely such a wonderful person. When I arrived in Port-au-Prince, you know, sort of, he met us with a green T-shirt with Ireland written on it, and he threw his arms around me and says, "Patrick, I'm the only black Irishman in the Caribbean," you know. So amid all the horrendous sort of destruction around us, he still had such a wonderful, you know, sort of thing to say. And we went through the camps and, you know, met the people, and we helped, you know, sort of in our own little way. And the people from Haven were wonderful, and they provided sanitation and toilets for the people, and we built something like 24 toilets when I was there. Particularly Peter Hanley and Peter Gann have been down since, and we keep very close I suppose connections with Haiti.
Great.
Before I came in tonight, believe it or not, the bishop contacted me from Haiti and said they were going to name a street after me on the island, which is wonderful.
Lovely.
You know? Yes. And I suppose the total warmth you get from the people, you know, sort of is almost analogous and is reciprocal to the warmth that I found of the people of Africa. And your original exposure to anything, you know, can be, I suppose in some ways, what you tend to make up your mind. And because I lived in Dade County in Miami and lived in Aventura and Collins Avenue, my only exposure to Haiti before this would have been Haitian taxi drivers who weren't the most, I suppose, lovable people in the world, quite grumpy. And when I went down to Haiti and discovered, oh my God, there's such a wonderful subculture there, even though, you know, sir, everybody speaks French, there's quite a spattering of English, and the children are just so wonderful. And, you know, they're happier in many ways among the poverty than sort of, you know, our children are in Ireland or in the UK or in the United States. So, I mean, certainly the song that I'd like to remember all those wonderful, I suppose, people in Haiti is again, I suppose, a Michael Jackson song, and it's "We Are the World" for Haiti. His music will live on, and I think he'll be the Mozart or Beethoven of the new era, and certainly because of his particular empathy with other people, he'll be remembered for his goodness.
Good. So let us go to "We Are the World" 25 for Haiti.
There is a time when we should heed a certain cause, 'cause the world, it seems, is right in this line. 'Cause there's a chance for taking in needing our own lives. We are the world, shine up. We are the children, shining in. We are the ones who make it brighter. So let's start here, 'cause that's what we're being. There's a chance for taking. We're taking.
Dr. Patrick Treacy, thank you. Stand by for Elvis Extra with Bill McLaughlin just after the news. Tom Cole Jr. has Sunshine Swing. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'm Graham Day.